We are forced because of the Omicron. So let's start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitasya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. We have around 13 devotees with us today on the Gita Sar session. I guess this is our fourth session. Let's welcome Bimal Mataji, Deepika Mataji, Deepika Shroff, Karuna Mataji, Kritika, Prerna, Priya, Santosh Prabhu, Tanna Mataji, Lata. I don't know who is the Zoom user, so I think they have not renamed. And Pratibha is just joining. Hope you are all recovered from the Omicron, some kind of flu that everyone got, but 2-3 days of illness, cold, cough. Even all of us at the temple, we went through it. So yesterday only somebody was saying that Omicron has become Omnicron. It has just covered everyone this time. And hopefully this is the last wave of the COVID. Of course, the waves of material nature are unlimited. Some or other wave is going to disturb us, bother us, but we have to take the shelter of the boat of transcendental knowledge, which is going to help us to cross these waves and ultimately the material ocean. So let's recite the Shikshastakam before we continue our discussion on the beautiful verses, the essence of nectar and the Vedanta that is there in all the books given by Vyasdev. Mahaprabhu has given us the essence in just 8 verses. So let's just recite them together. So please, I will unmute you. You can unmute yourself and we can all recite, or I'm not sure if we'll all echo it together or if it will be a cacophony, but let's at least recite together. Hito darpanamajanam bhavamahadavapanam Shriyakairavachandrikavitaranam Vidyavadodjivanam Anandambudivardhanam Pradipadam Purnamritaswadanam सर्वात्मा सपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् नाम नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिहाजनिनानुरागः तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरवि इव सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेना कीर्तनीया सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरी कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायतं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायतं शून्यायतं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनस्तु मा अदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातलं पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. We last time we discussed the 7 benefits, the 7 excellences, or the gifts of decorations of the holy name, ornaments of the holy name of the Sankirtan that Mahaprabhu is in the first verse glorifying. The first is Cheto Darpana Marjana, that how it cleanses the mirror of the heart. We discussed last time that there are these 3 things, other desires that become more prominent in our heart, the desire to enjoy or to give up the activity itself or becoming hard-hearted. So all these cover the heart either with hard-heartedness or with sentiments, with attachments. So how by chanting the holy names we get the strength and to not allow this to cover our soul, to cover our desire to serve Krishna. And then we discussed about Bhavadava Nirvapana, how the chanting removes the fire of material existence, in terms of our own self creating troubles for ourselves, our body and mind, the natural calamities that come. The suffering is there, but the pain is there, but do we suffer because of that, or do we take it as a learning lesson, or do we take it as my karmic reactions that are getting removed, and suffering because of others? So all these, so we get the strength to bear the troubles uh, in this world, and ultimately it is through chanting that we can overcome the coming to this world in total, so that we, as they say, na rahegi baas, na bhajegi basul. If we don't come back to this world, then all this world's problems won't affect us. Then the third was Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitarana, that the holy name also invokes great auspiciousness in our lives, and the ultimate benefit that is there to connect to Krishna, that supreme auspiciousness starts to bloom. We start to become more and more conscious of what is my ultimate benefit, else we are many times just concerned about our short-term goals, short-term benefits. but through the chanting, the highest benefit, which is bhakti, it starts to awaken in us. Then there is Vidyavadu Jivanam, any kinds of knowledge, skills that we need to serve Krishna. The life of all of them is the desire to serve Krishna. So the knowledge becomes complete when it helps us to take shelter of Krishna. And any knowledge that is needed for us to serve Krishna, even that is provided by the holy name. I was giving an example of how Prabhupada's different disciples, they were not materially very skilled either to construct buildings or to uh, run a big event, but they did all this because of that empowerment they got from Prabhupada and from chanting Hare Krishna. That's why Prabhupada always said that the secret of success is in the feedback. That when we chant, when we sincerely take shelter of Krishna, then all the knowledge that is required is awakened, and the ignorance that is there in our hearts is removed. And the last thing that we discussed last time was Ananda Ambode Vardhana. I'm just discussing in short that the soul, although it is infinitesimal, it is very small in its size. It is not that when it gets purified, because of its small size, its experience of happiness is also small. No, the experience of happiness, the capacity for the soul to experience happiness is also infinite, and therefore, no, by taking shelter of Krishna, something that we would not have imagined, like experiences of happiness, we could have got. We get that, and so there is therefore people. We don't have to have that insecurity that will I not be happy if I take to share Krishna consciousness. Our happiness will be unbound happiness. Ayat Atyantikam Sukham. Krishna says in the Gita that there is no end to the happiness that a soul connected to me gets because of contact. Because I am infinite, therefore anyone that is connected to me also experiences infinite happiness. And today we are going to discuss the sixth and seventh, and some verses that Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions in regard to these different attributes or the benefits of excellences of chanting the holy name. So the sixth one, sixth excellence of the holy name is that Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadhanam. So the fifth benefit was that the ocean of happiness will keep increasing. But does that ocean, when does it start to increase? When do we start to experience happiness? Mahaprabhu says that Pratipadam, that at every step you will experience great sweetness. You will experience Purna Amrita. Sometimes Krishna says in the Gita that Amrite Vishamiva, that some happinesses are there that in the beginning they seem to be very sweet, but they end up in trouble. Say just like diabetes, materials, things that things that are made of sugar, they may appear to be sweet to the tongue, but for the body, it's kind of poison. It is very difficult for the body to digest. And there are some endeavors in this world which are initially troublesome, and later they bring benefits. But here Mahaprabhu is saying that, but chanting of the holy Hare Krishna, it is Purna Amrita. Amrita means nectar, and Purna means completely one is able to taste at every step. So it's only that we are not able to realize that what we are having is Krishna. So the awareness has not come, but when we chant the Krishna's holy names, Krishna is there and he is helping us at every step. And that realization we may not get immediately, but eventually, like the story said, that there was a man who was searching for gold, and the entire mountain was gold, but he didn't know what was gold. So he kept on climbing the mountain, thinking that the gold is at somewhere at the top. And once he reaches at the top, then what he finds there was what he has, been uh, through all the way. And there is something that we will also start to see, that any small uh, steps that we have taken in bhakti, all of them have the great potential to give us complete nectar, complete benefit. Uh, but just that because we are not aware, a devotee who may be just cleaning the toilets or just serving the cleaning the utensils, and he may, and that may be considered, the boot camp or the like initial, when you joined and you're put into menial tasks, okay, broom the temple hall or this or that. But for a great devotee, but somebody who has tasted Krishna, that all those services for him, they are complete nectar. Therefore, even for a devotee, when he is hearing either Krishna's Leela directly of Vrindavan, or he is hearing about Dhruv Maharaj or about the creation of the universe, for him, all of that is complete nectar, and just that he is still not yet aware. And one Acharya, he gives a beautiful explanation of this ocean. Now, the happiness of bhakti is compared to like an ocean, and we all have some experience of getting into ocean or river. Please raise your hand if you all ever took a bath in a river or an ocean. I want to see some hands up or on the chat. It's a nice example that Acharya has given. Yes. Yes, Karuna Mataji and Radhika Krishna, Deepika, Kritika. So all of us have experienced, getting going into an ocean or a river body. So where some of us we're not good swimmers, or we don't know swimming at all. So for those who don't know swimming much, what we do is that we just go till the place where our knees are immersed, and there we do our oblations, or we do our whatever is bathing, and that is known as Shwana depth, the depth of a dog. And at that then there are others who may go a little more into the waters till the waist depth, and that is compared to a ashwa, like like a horse when it goes into the waters, where the place where horse almost is immersed, that is horse depth. First is dog's depth, and there is horse depth. Then there are some who even go even further, and they're almost completely immersed. That is neck deep water, and that is called as gajar, like a gajar, like an elephant depth. And all these three are in the ocean. But the first one is not fully immersed. He is still scared. If I go, will I be saved? Will I be able to? So he still wants to keep contact with the land, and that faith, that uh, desire is still not there to fully go into the ocean. So, but even they get benefited when they take bath in the ocean, when they enter just knee deep. So these are compared to devotees that uh, that try to hear those pastimes of Krishna, which and appreciate those pastimes of Krishna, like how Krishna is amazing, wondrous pastimes that he is lifting the mountain, is doing, is dancing on the Kaliya's hoods, or he is creating this universe. There are others who can go a little more deeper uh, and try to understand how can Krishna, tell Arjuna to kill Karna and other aspects. And those, there are others who can go even deeper, like the Gopis of Vrindavan or like Parikshit Maharaj, who can completely take benefit of the ocean. And I know some. Personally, I am not a very good swimmer. Maybe I can attempt to go till the horse depth, not knee depth, but at least the second phase I attempt to go. But there are some who just love the ocean. I knew one person in Udupi, and his name was Amin. Some Amin, I forget now. Nice devotee. And his favorite thing in the world was to go into the ocean and not just go where the shore, to go to extents where the shore is not even visible, and not on a boat or anything, just himself. And he used to stay in the ocean, there in the deep, deep waters for hours together. Morning he used to go, and by afternoon, sometimes evening, he used to return back. And once I had gone with him, and he was telling that how his mother was so scared of his this habit he has. And so once, when he was in the deep waters of this ocean, there was some kind of huge storm had come, and somehow he was spared. And from Udupi, he landed in some other some other part of the place. Fortunately, he didn't land in Pakistan. And then from there, he had to drive back to Udupi. And I was amazed that there are people like this in India. I know in foreign there are some Western body devotees who like to just go into the ocean. But most Indians don't have that habit, or they don't dare to do that. But the devotees, they just love to just immerse themselves in the ocean of bhakti. And they are like the neck deep devotees. They just go into the ocean and relish fully. And but whereas we are like, half here, half there. थोड़ा बहुत पानी में जाते हैं, फिर लगता है अरे पानी में डूब जाऊंगा, and then we come out. And there was one devotee was sharing that जो इस भक्ति के सागर में डूबेंगे वही भव सागर से तारेंगे. That one who drowns in the ocean of bhakti, only they will cross the ocean of material world. So both are compared to oceans, but we need to have this faith that Krishna is the Krishna's holy name is so powerful that it's going to give me relishment and immortality and all the benefits at every step. Let me keep on taking the steps. Let me not just get stagnated. Once a devotee, he had asked Radhanath Maharaj, Maharaj, why do you have to chant 16 rounds? Why can't we just chant one mantra or one round of Mahamantra perfectly? That I chant one mantra perfectly, and it should be sufficient. And then so why do we have to chant 16 rounds in such a distracted way where we're not even focusing? Let me focus fully on one mantra, because Krishna's name is so powerful. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadhanam. So it can give us all the perfection in just one name. So why to chant so much? And so Maharaj was asked, why do we chant? Have to chant so much? Maharaj gave an amazing reply. He said that yes, it is sufficient to just chant one pure holy name, But do you know what does it mean to chant one pure holy name? It's not just okay, I've fully focused on the holy name, that I have no other thought, and chanting that way is not considered as Shuddha Nam. Shuddha Nam is where when you chant the name of Krishna, like it is explained in Shikshastakam, that tears come from your eyes and body, your bodily hairs stand on end. Does that happen to you when you chant that one mantra? So no. So if it doesn't happen, then you chant more, because chanting more purifies your heart so that you can come there. And then he said that even if you chant just one mantra perfectly, as you say, that the mantra will be so sweet and so relishable that you will not want to stop at one mantra. Like we have this, I think Lay's chips advertisement or some other Kellogg's, and no one can eat just one or something like that. So the pure holy name is like that. No one can just take once and stop there. Once you get there, then you're continuously have to keep tasting that, have to keep wanting that more and more. So enables one to taste the complete nectar at every step. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains that there are four sweetnesses of Krishna which a devotee experience tastes through chanting Hare Krishna, chanting of the holy name. One is the devotee is able to relish the pastimes of the Lord, Leela Madhurya. So the Lord's pastimes are very sweet, and their sweetness is relished best when a devotee is chanting. Otherwise, people outside, they may relish Krishna's butter stealing pastimes, but that is also on a very mundane level, like a child doing some pranks. People watch a lot of prank videos, so they only relish at that level, or they may relish Krishna's Raslila pastimes as mundane love affairs, a girl meeting a boy and having all those romantic affairs. But they can't really relish Krishna's pastimes. But through chanting, because they get purified, they are able to relish at the actual level that they are the pastimes, and not just the Raslila or any pastime. Any pastime of Krishna, any pastime of the devotees, they are able to relish. Therefore, once Jananivas Prabhu, he was mentioning that every day he goes to the Bhagavatam class with Bhagavatam book, and he sits for the class. No matter Bengali class is happening or whatever English class is happening, and whoever is giving, and he joined in 1970s, so now he is 50 years in the movement. He was. He is Pankaj who left us. So Jananivas Prabhu is almost 50 years in a senior. But even if somebody new is giving the class, he goes and sits there. And he was asked that don't you find sometimes class is boring and you want to do something else because you're so busy with so many, you're the head pujari of Radha Madhav, Nrsimhadev, Panchatattva. There's so many others, services that you could easily give your excuse for go. So especially when the class is boring. And then Jananivas said that I never found any Bhagavatam class boring. It was kind of very striking to many that heard this. And because he is seeing Krishna, because whatever a devotee is speaking from the Bhagavatam, he's speaking about Krishna, maybe in a boring way, maybe in an attractive way, but because he's speaking the Leela of the Lord, the devotee is relishing Leela Madhurya. So he gets the taste to relish Krishna's pastimes. And sometimes the same pastime, again and again. How many times have you heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes or this or that in the temple? But every time we sit, uh, the, the, the test of our chanting is whether we are able to relish these pastimes. And the ability to relish Krishna's pastimes more and more comes from chanting. and Krishna's love, that how Krishna is reciprocating with his devotees, and Krishna's love in those pastimes. And not just Krishna's love in those pastimes, but also Krishna's love for us, Jivas, we are able to relish that. Then Krishna's sweet flute playing. These are actually the four, sweetnesses that Krishna particularly has, other than which we that which distinguishes or excels, distincts Krishna from Vishnu, is these four sweetnesses. So a devotee will also hear the sweet flute playing of Krishna. In fact, it is said that the chanting of Hare Krishna is not different than that flute sound of Krishna. Even the Gayatri mantra is considered as the as the as the flute sound of Krishna. When it comes to this world, becomes the Gayatri. And even the holy name is that sweet sound of the flute, which we can taste by chanting ultimately at one stage. And Rupa Madhurya, the beautiful form of the Lord. Many people that come, they hardly can look at the deity for a few seconds. They don't even look at actual form of the Lord. They just look at, for them it's like something majestic, something amazing. And then but as we all know that the more we are purified in chanting, by chanting, the more we are able to relish the form of the Lord's sweetness, sweet form, Rupa Madhurya. Even that is comes from the chanting of them. So this is the sixth excellence of the holy name, that it gives us taste at every step and gives us complete nectar. The ability to taste that nectar also comes. The ability is given by the holy name. Then the last one, the seventh excellence of the holy name, is Sarvatma Snapanam. That Snapanam is to take bath. And so for any kind of situation, for all types of souls, for all types of situations, the chanting of the holy name is the best way to thoroughly clean ourselves. And a doubt was asked about this verse, about especially this first verse of the Shikshastakam by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he only clarifies the doubt. He says that it seems that not chanting is something that is going to give us happiness, give us sweetness, but isn't that also selfish? Isn't us wanting to experience sweetness of Krishna, isn't that also a selfish act? And then he says that no, when someone starts to chant Hare Krishna, the happiness is not coming because the devotee is experiencing some sweetness, but because it is Krishna who is relishing the devotees, taking shelter of him. And because Krishna is happy, his happiness is starting to become my happiness. So just like the definition of lust that is given is that Atmendriya Priti Vancha Kare Kam, Tare Kam, that when one wants to please one's own senses, then that is termed as lust. Usually when in a sexual relationship, everyone is bothered about how can I please my senses, how can I please my body and my sensations, how can they be fulfilled. But when it comes to Krishna, Krishnendriya Priti Vancha Kare Tara Prem, that when we want to please Krishna, and in pleasing Krishna, when Krishna is happy, and then he bestows that happiness to us, that happiness is not because of the contact with the senses, with some kind of a detoxification of the mind or anything. That happiness is coming from Krishna. So a devotee is only wanting to connect to Krishna, and it is Krishna that gives us happiness. So therefore, when we are chanting Hare Krishna and when we are experiencing happiness, that is pure sarvatma snapanam, that is completely pure, thoroughly pure kind of happiness that a devotee experiences because he has pleased Krishna. And as and we all have experienced this, that whenever we do some service that pleases devotees, then automatically inside our heart there is some kind of contentment, some kind of happiness that we experience. It's not because you got so many likes or this or that. That is not something external. It is because we have pleased Krishna with our endeavor. Krishna awards us happiness. So when we try to grab happiness in this world, it is we are trying to through sensual contact we are trying to experience happiness. But when we are honoring the prasad, we are relishing Krishna's mercy. So when Krishna is happy with us, relishing the mercy, and because we are focused on that, we experience happiness. It seems to be the same. My tongue is experiencing these taste buds. But if you just remain at that level, you will not experience the deeper level of happiness. So therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that this Sankirtan is Sarvatma Snapanam. For every situation, a person, when he one takes bath, he becomes clean and he becomes cool. So same way when a devotee, like this sadhu here, is offering the Ganga water back to Ganga. So apparently he is giving back. So same way a devotee, when he gives Krishna what he has given him, any kind of ability, any kind of knowledge in his service, then because the devotee is offering him that water, he also becomes cleansed. He also becomes clean. He has to. He also takes bath in that offering. So that's the two-way reciprocation, that we are not directly trying to become peaceful, become happy. We are trying to please Krishna. And when we are trying to please Krishna, then it is Krishna that bestows us happiness. So therefore, our goal is that am I pleasing Krishna? That let me chant in a way that it is pleasing to Krishna. Let me serve in a way, let me speak in a way, let me act in a way that it is pleasing to Krishna. Because Krishna is there all across in all situations. So therefore, I cannot cheat. I have to act in a way that is pleasing to Krishna. Either I am alone or I am in a group. I cannot just fool Krishna, because Krishna is there all through, especially inside. So therefore, my happiness is in giving Krishna his happiness, and that will actually give us the pleasure. So there are this particular first verse comes in the Antya Lila 11th 20th chapter, the last chapter of the Antya Lila. The 12th verse is the Cheto Darpanam Marjana verse. But a verse before that and two verses after that explain what is the meaning of this first verse. So we'll just take that. So Krishna Gavaraj Goswami is saying, Nama Sankirtana Haite Sarvar Anartha Nash. That by Krishna's Sankirtan, chanting of the Sankirtan, all the anarthas are removed. Sarva Shubhodaya. So the first line is saying about Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhavadavagi Nirvapanam. And then Sarva Shubhodaya. This is Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam and Krishna Premera Ullas. It is giving us the happiness of Krishna Prem. Some Sankirtana Haite Papa Samsara Nashana, that is Bhavadavag Niva. Chitta Shuddhi Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgam. It is cleansing our consciousness, and Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgam. So the meaning is that It is bestowing all kinds of auspiciousness and all varieties of devotional service. The root is chanting. Therefore, no, it is not just enough to serve in say DTs or other aspects, but one should primarily chant Hare Krishna. So therefore, Sarva Bhakti Sadhana Udgam and Krishna Premodgama Premamrita Aswadana. Krishna Prapti Sevamrita Samudre Majjana. That Krishna Prema is awakened in that, and the devotee experiences the sweetness of Krishna Prem, and then he also achieves Krishna Prapti. And when he achieves Krishna Prapti, he becomes immersed in serving Krishna. That he just, okay, it's not that okay, I'll be just around Krishna, but now I want to serve Krishna. So these are all the way in which Mahaprabhu, Krishna Goswami explains these 7 benefits. So this is a verse that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has, not a verse, a bhajan, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, glorifying this first verse, the Shikshastakam, Song 1 Gitavali. He says, Pitavarana Kali Pavana Gora. If we were together, we would have sung this, but I'll just explain the meaning here. Pitavarana Kali Pavana Gora. That the Gor Kali Yuga, to cleanse that Mahaprabhu has come in Pitavarana, in yellowish complexion. Gayoi Aichana Bhava Vibhora, and is singing and chanting in great ecstasy, Bhava Vibhora. And he's saying Chitta Darpana Parimarjana Kari. That the verse, the chanting, it cleanses the mirror of our consciousness, Parimarjana Kari. Cheto Darpana Marjana was there, but in this, Parimarjana is completely cleanses our consciousness. Krishna Kirtana Jaya Chitta Bihari. That when our chanting is where our chitta is roaming. That chitta Bihari, like Braj Bihari or no Vamsi Bihari. So one who is roaming around the Vamshiva tree or around Vrindavan. So Chitta Bihari. So our consciousness has to roam around chanting. Then our Hela Bhava Dhavar Nirvapana Nivritti. That, and then as a side effect, that Bhavadava Nirvapana. Same thing in a different way. That our consciousness is cleansed. All the fire of material existence is removed when we chant Krishna Kirtana Jaya Klesha Nivritti. So all the anarthas are removed, and because all the anarthas, kleshas are removed, therefore please chant. Shreya Kumuda Vidu Josna Prakash. That Kumuda, that lotus of auspiciousness starts to bloom. All kinds of auspiciousness starts to happen in our life when we start to chant. So once a devotee starts to chant, no inauspicious activities can happen or events can happen where chanting is happening. Josna Prakash, Krishna Kirtana Jai Bhakti Vilas. So therefore please chant. Vishuddha Vidya Vadu Jivana Roop. So pure knowledge is that which is the wife of the holy name, Jivana Rupa. It gives life to the transcendent, the knowledge of the holy name. Therefore, Krishna Kirtana Jaya Siddha Suru. So if you want to know your real form, eternal form, then chant the Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Ananda Payo Nidhivardhana Kirti. That when the ocean of happiness, the Ananda, you will get the more you glorify Krishna. Krishna Kirtana Jaya Plavana Murti, that he is the deliverer of those who are immersed in the chanting. So Plavana means to one who removes one, crosses one from the ocean. Pade Pade Piyusha Swada Pradata, that every step we experience the taste. Krishna Kirtana Jaya Prema Vidhata, that this Krishna Kirtana becomes the destiny maker of love. And Bhakti Vinoda Swatma Snapana Vidhan, and my consciousness is fully cleansed by this chanting. Krishna Kirtana Prema, Jaya Prema Nidhan. So it is the reservoir, treasure of the love, this chanting of holy names. So these are the 7 benefits of excellences of the holy name. And finally, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains the what is called as Krishna Sankirtan. So Sankirtan means that we are chanting with free of 3 things. With 3 things, when we do something kirtan, then it is considered called as Sankirtan. So it is not just enough to chant, but we have to do Sankirtan. So Sankirtana means that kirtan that is performed with full knowledge of Sambandha Gyan. So when we are fully conscious of what is my relationship with God, so to become aware of the philosophy of bhakti, to be aware of that, not just to know, okay, I know Bhagavad Gita or I know this, but to be aware of my relationship with Krishna, that I am a servant of Krishna, and with that sambandha, like when we are calling out, say, our husband's name as Naman. Now we are conscious of our relationship with the husband, and we are chanting that. Or say when we are chanting or calling out our child's name, say Mukul. So when we are saying Mukul, then as we are saying Mukul, we are aware that what is the relationship with which I am calling that name. Same way Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, so when we are calling out Krishna's name, we should be aware of the relationship that I have with Krishna, that I am his servant. So therefore, I cannot demand Krishna. I cannot command, I cannot control, conquer Krishna. I am his servant, and with that awareness, with that aspiration, one should chant. Then the second thing that one should do is that one should chant free from all obstructions, physical and mental. That sometimes, our mobiles are there next to us, or we are in a place that is going to constantly disturb us. So that kirtan that is free from any disturbances, internal, external, free from any anarthas, that you're keeping yourself free from any unwanted distractions, unwanted disturbances that may come into your life. And the third thing that devotee should do is that he should chant free from aparadhas, or he should aim to chant free from, like we have nam aparadh, the 10 offenses that are committed by chanting or by a devotee. So we should be free from these aparadhas. So when we do these 3 things, chant in awareness of my relationship with Krishna, free from all obstructions, and free from all offenses. So then our chanting is Sankirtan. Otherwise, our chanting is partial Sankirtan, and that's why it says that partial Kirtan of the holy name will not award the full benefit that the full Sankirtan can award. And someone until one is not yet that at that stage of fully doing Sankirtan, you should take help of other limbs of bhakti, like reading of Bhagavatam, or serving Tulsi Maharani, visiting Dham, all these are other limbs of bhakti, or say deity worship. All these things one should take help of, so that he can at least complete uh, that sankirtan. Otherwise, kirtan itself, chanting itself is complete, especially if it is done with these three things. Another thing that is explained is that, okay, does this mean that, okay, chanting, if I'm chanting inattentively, improperly, will that not award benefits? Then the Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives some verses. He says that Ata eva yadyapi anya bhakti kalau kartavya tada kirtanakya bhakti samyoganaiva. That in Kali Yuga, it is necessary to perform the other 8 limbs of bhakti, say Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, but they must be performed in connection with the chanting of the holy name. So if you are serving deities, ensure that you are chanting. If you are not doing any service, it should be done with chanting, then it becomes Sankirtan. So either your Kirtan is complete, or your other activities are complete because Kirtan is added. Prabhupada, even when the Yajna was being done, he said, okay, chant. Tada Kirtana Akhya Bhakti Samyogane. Then chanting Bhakti becomes complete, fully accomplished. And then this verse, this explains that Madhuram, this is in Skanda Puran, Etan Mangalam Mangalana. The chanting is very sweet and it is auspicious of all auspicious activities. Sakala Nigamavalli Satphalam Chit Swarupam. That it is the fruit of all the Vedas. Sakala Nigama, or Vedas are called as Nigama. So if it is a tree, a creeper, then this is the ripened fruit. And it is fully conscious in itself. Sakridapi parigitam shraddhaya helayava. But if you chant parigitam shraddhaya, either with full faith or helaya, inattentively or indifferently, sakrit, even if you do inattentively, even once if you chant inattentively, this is being told to Bhrigu. Bhriguvara Naramatra Taret Krishnanama. One is delivered from the material existence. But our goal is not just to deliver from material existence. Our goal is to please Krishna, go to the spiritual world and please Krishna. But deliverance is guaranteed by any type of chanting. But there's always a danger to come back. And then there is this verse which he quotes, which says that Idichasi param jnanam jnanadyat paramam padam tadadarena rajendra kuru govinda kirtanam. That any kind of knowledge is only complete when it respects the Govinda's kirtan. Sometimes some philosophers, they undermine chanting of the holy names. But here in this verse in Garuda Puran, it says that tadadarena, all knowledge should give complete respect to Govinda Kirtan. Then this verse is about Anandambudivartanam. This is a verse sung by Gajendra. He says, Ekantino yasyana kanchanartam vanchanti ye yat bhagavat prapanna atyadbhutam tat charitam sumangalam kayanti ananda samudra magna. So beautiful verse in which he is saying that let me fully immerse myself in the ocean of happiness that comes from ekantino yasya kanchanartham. Those devotees who are ekantis, those who don't have any other aspiration, na kanchana, they don't have any other purpose in their life. Vanchanti ye vai bhagavat prapanna. Their only desire is to surrender to the Supreme Lord. And how do they do that? Ati adbhutam tat charitam sumangalam. By chanting the beautiful pastimes and the names of the Lord Sumangalam, which are supremely auspicious. Gayanta Ananda Samudra Bhagna. And it is such a big ocean that we just become immersed in that. And so he's praying to the Lord that please let me fully absorb myself in chanting your holy names. And many people ask about where is Hare Krishna Mahamantra mentioned in the Vedas or in the, if even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is not completely mentioned, but this is a verse in the Chaitanya Bhagavat in the Madhya Kanda where Mahaprabhu is proclaiming this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. प्रभु कहे कहिला यही महामंत्र इहा जपा गिया सबे करिया निर्बंधा इहा इते सर्व सिद्धि हैबे सबारा सर्वक्षण बल इथे विधि नाही आरा. So Mahaprabhu, he mentioned the Mahamantra. Kahila ei Mahamantra. This is the Mahamantra. Iha japa. Chant this. In silent, self-chanting is called japa. Giya sabe. Sing with everyone. Kariya nirbandha. Without any obstruction, without any obstacle, as I said previously. Removing all obstacles. Yeah, it is Sarvasiddhi. By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Sarva Siddhi Haive Savara. For everyone, the supreme benefit will come by chanting. Sarva Kshana Bala Ite Vidhi Nahi Ara. It gives strength at every step to the devotee who is chanting the holy names. So therefore, always keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this way we complete the first verse of the Shikshastakam. Next time we will take the other verses. So this verse we took the first verse. So next time we will take the second verse of the Shikshastakam. Okay, I'll stop here and see if any devotees have any questions.